I have 55 Dusk Balls on me. Hopefully one of them does the trick. Alright, I'm going to switch over to Uxie so that way I can put Mesprit's HP in the red with Psychic. I'm only doing this so that way, if Mesprit's HP is in the red, then I guess that'll increase my chances of capturing it. Now, Psychic shouldn't do a whole lot since Uxie's not a very good attacker, and also, Mesprit resists Psychic type attacks. Okay, good, no crits. Okay, Mesprit is still asleep, so I'm going to start throwing some Dusk Balls until it wakes up. When it wakes up, I'll go back to Gastrodon so that way I can put Mesprit back to sleep with Yawn. 1, 2. Ah, kicks out at 2. Well, okay. I'll gladly take that over the Dusk Ball not shaking at all. Alright, Mesprit is still asleep, so that gives me the opportunity to throw another Dusk Ball. Is Dusk Ball number 2 going to do it? Let's find out. Nope, of course not. I mean, hey, I can only get lucky for so long. Okay, Mesprit wakes up and goes for Extrasensory. Uxie has some pretty good defenses, so this really shouldn't do a whole lot. Oh yeah, that was nothing. Okay, as I said, I'm gonna switch back to Gastrodon so that way I can put Mesprit back to sleep with Yawn. Now, before I make this video, I looked up online to check on Mesprit's stats, and I was pretty surprised at what I saw. I had no idea that Mesprit had a base special attack, as well as attack, defense, and special defense of 105. I mean, I've never used this thing as a team member before, so I guess it's only natural that I didn't know that it had those kinds of stats. And as for HP and speed, well, it's only 80. Okay, given how you chase this thing around the region in the original games, I kind of find it hard to believe that Mesprit of all things has a base speed of 80. Okay, Dusk Ball number 3, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Yes, got it! Wow, and it didn't even fall asleep. So, looks like I had a pretty easy time with Mesprit. Which is more than I can say for Uxie, because I spent like, what, 10 minutes trying to capture that thing? Alright, what do we have to say about the emotion Pokemon? It was the birth of emotions. Ah yes, it is said that Mesprit taught humans the ability to feel sorrow, pain, and joy. Well, I'm definitely feeling joy right now because I used 3 Dusk Balls to capture Mesprit. Okay, Mesprit is going to the PC, and as for me, I'm going to make my way over to Lake Valor where Azelf is. Now, as for Azelf, well, I'm kind of concerned about it. I'm concerned because one of its moves is Nasty Plot, and that worries me. If it goes for that so many times, then it can really do a number on my team. Well, except for Honchkrow, since Azelf can't touch Honchkrow at all. So, here's what I'm going to do. Instead of trying to put Azelf to sleep with Gastrodon's Yawn, I'm going to have Honchkrow do the fighting. Because, well, if I try putting it to sleep, then it's probably going to use Nasty Plot a whole bunch of times, and then it's really going to slaughter my whole team. Well, almost my whole team, since, as I said, it can't touch Honchkrow at all. Now, I guess I'll go with Drill Peck, because if I go with Night Slash, there's a possibility that it could get a critical hit, and I really don't have to repeat the fight over and over again. So, Drill Peck it is. So, the word Valor. I think I heard that word before. Valor means courage. Well, after all, Azelf is known as the being of willpower, so it only makes sense that way. Not to mention the fact that it's the offensive one out of the 3 Pixies. Okay, the last time I was here, Team Galactic was here, and I picked up a hidden HP up. Well, now that the lake is back, unfortunately that HP up is now gone. Yeah, I'm not really sure why Game Freak throws in hidden items that disappear after a certain event. I mean, back in Emerald 386, I seem to recall picking up a hidden nugget in the final Trick House challenge, and if you did pick it up, well, it's gone forever. Okay, now before I go confront Azelf, I'm going to go to another area of the lake since there's an item for me to pick up, and it's right over there. It is TM25, Thunder. It's pretty useful on Pokemon that have control over the rain, such as Kyogre. Oh yeah, I seem to recall fighting Lickitung here back in Diamond version. I believe there was a mass outbreak. Yes, those were days, but sadly those days are now over. If I could come up with a good moveset for Lickitung, then maybe I would have considered using it as a team member. But I never used Lickitung in my life before, so yeah, I'm not really sure if I could really pull it off. Besides, there are other good normal types out there. I mean, not saying that Lickitung is bad or anything, I'm saying, I guess certain other normal types I prefer. Okay, hopefully no more random encounters on the way to Valor Cavern. Alright, there we go. Okay, with that, Azelf is right over here, so I'm going to save everything I've done so far and be right back. Alright, let's see how I do against Azelf. Now, hopefully it's able to take a Drill Peck since it has 70 in both defense and special defense, so who knows? It might actually go down to a Drill Peck, and if that does happen, then that's okay because it'll stay put instead of disappearing. But if it does go down, then I blame the absurd critical hit ratio that this game has. Now, every time I use Drill Peck on it, its HP always falls into the red, and I hope that happens here. Okay, perfect. That's the perfect amount of HP for me to start throwing Dusk Balls. So, how many Dusk Balls will it take for me to capture this thing? Well, I have absolutely no idea. If I go for around, say, 10 to 20 Dusk Balls, then I'll just switch over to Timer Balls. Okay, it didn't even shake once. That sucks. Okay, what's it going to go for? Psychic? Okay, that's not going to do anything since, as I said before, this thing can't touch Honchkrow at all. Alright, Dusk Ball number 2. Is this one going to do it? 1, 2, 3. Yes, got it! With only 2 Dusk Balls. Wow. You know, this is pretty ironic. I captured Mesprit and Azelf with no problem at all, but back when I caught that adamant nature Uxie, I had a hard time trying to capture it. Yeah, I guess this game is just trolling me. It was the birth of willpower. Yes, I said something about that before this fight even began. Now, given the fact that I'm going to a new route, Uxie doesn't have a very high level, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to a grinding spot in Solaceon Town so that way I can grind up Uxie so that way it's on par with the rest of my team's levels. So if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go do that. Okay, the trading is now complete. Uxie is at level 76 and I'd raised its defense, special attack, and special defense. Now, I'm here at the Pastoria Pokemon Center because I'm going to show you the natures of Mew, Mesprit, and Azelf real quick. Oh yeah, that's right, Mew is holding a Lumberry. Okay, I'll just take that real quick. Okay, Mew's nature is serious, and Mesprit's nature, bashful, and Azelf's, docile. Wow, 3 neutral natures. Why couldn't Uxie have these natures, not adamant like I caught previously? This game sometimes. Anyway, next destination, Route 222, which will eventually lead me to Sunny Shore City, home of the last gym. Now, looking back at the battle I had against Azelf, I will admit one thing. I am pretty grateful that it didn't have Future Sight as an attack because if it did, then I think I would have been in some trouble because, as you know, Future Sight ignores type effectiveness in this generation. And knowing that Azelf has Nasty Spot as an attack, I think Future Sight would have done a number on Honchkrow if it did have Future Sight. And thank freaking God Azelf didn't have Moonblast as an attack because, yes, one move it can learn is Moonblast. Well, that's pretty obvious because when I showed off my moveset for Uxie, you saw that it had Moonblast as an attack. So yeah, if Azelf had Moonblast, well, I don't even know if I could capture it, because as you know, Giratina and Honchkrow are weak to Fairy-type attacks, and knowing that Azelf has Nasty Plot as an attack, I think Azelf had the potential to sweep my entire team if it did have Moonblast. So yeah, I am really grateful that Azelf's moveset is slightly modified in this game. Okay, there's a hidden item here that I'm going to pick up first, and then I'll go fight the trainers. Okay, here it is, a PP up. Okay, here we are at last, Route 222. Now, there's one interesting Pokemon you can find here, and that's Chatot. Well, I've never used Chatot in my entire life because I don't think it's very good. But there's one thing you should know about it. It's the only Pokemon that can learn Chatter. Yeah, no other Pokemon can learn Chatter. And no, you can't use Sketch on Chatot in hopes of taking Chatter for yourself because this move is for Chatot only. And also, it has a chance at confusing the targets. Well, the chance of confusion happening, well, it's pretty interesting in a way. So, if you were to play a game like this on DS console, there's a little microphone on the DS, and if you shout into it while using Chatter, well, I believe that could actually raise the chance of Chatter confusing the target. I believe Chatter has either a 1%, 11%, or 31% of confusing the target. 31% chance, rather. Sorry about that, I didn't say chance. Yeah, I didn't really know that at first because, well, I'm not really much of a Chatot person, so yeah, I looked up online to take a look at Chatot and its signature move, so yeah, that's how I knew about it. But if you were to play this game on an emulator, then I wonder how you're going to be able to increase the chance of Chatter confusing the targets. I mean, if you were to be in the underground Sinnoh, then yeah, you have to use the microphone so that way you could... Oh wow, full restore. Well, I should have seen that coming because I guess rich boys and lady trainers like using healing items. Okay, as I was saying, if you were to be in the underground Sinnoh, then you have to use the microphone so that way you can get rid of potential traps if you were to see any. Oh wow, thanks to a time critical hit, Luxray goes down one hit because, yeah, I knew I was going to one-shot it because Giratina got intimidated. Yeah. Looking back at the fact that the DS has a mini microphone, yeah, I wonder how it's possible if you were to boost the boost the chance of chatter confusing the target. Well, I'm not really sure if you have to possibly do something in order for chatter to confuse the targets. I mean, yeah, this microphone I'm using, I don't think that's it. And looking at the fact that I guess some people can go underground while using an ambulator, if they were to run into certain traps, then how are they going to get past those traps? Well, I don't know the answer to that because, yeah, as I said before, I can't go underground on an emulator because it's practically impossible. So yeah, as for Chatot in general, well, yeah, I have seen it a few times on Route 222, but I don't think it's very good. But if you do want to see Chatot on this route, well, there's a 10% chance that you are going to see it, but I think I'll go catch it when the time is right. Just not right now, because, yeah, 10% chance, yeah, that is a pretty low chance. Okay, I believe there are some berries over here that I'm going to pick up. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I don't know why, but just being on this route, I guess it's some sort of relief because, yeah, years ago I did want to see what was on this route, but I couldn't because there was that guy blocking the way to Route 222, and that was because I had to do the events at the Spear Pillar. But now those days are over, and now I can enjoy Route 222 as much as I want. Also, one other thing I remember doing was I believe I was training Pokemon on this route, so that way I could maybe do well at the Battle Tower, but that was all the way back in my Diamond game. Well, I had no idea that power items existed back then, so yeah, I'm not really sure how well I did in the Battle Tower. Oh yeah, just a reminder, Lopunny is normal fighting in this game because that's the type of Mega Lopunny. Okay, so I'm going to use Fly on it so that way I could score super effective damage on it. Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, I knew it was going to go for a high jump kick, but it missed and it takes a little bit of damage. Well, it's a shame it doesn't lose half its health like it would if this was another generation, because, yeah, I think that would be pretty cool. And while I have some time left, I might as well talk about something. So, recently, I played around with that terrestrialized Meganium, or that 7-star Meganium, rather. Yeah, I'm not really sure what possessed me to go after it. Given the fact that I was talking about maybe using Annihilate to weaken it, yeah, I guess maybe I decided to maybe try it. But unfortunately, that didn't work because, yeah, that Meganium kept on dominating me. So I decided to go with some other Pokemon, like Malamar and Skeledirge. Malamar, well, maybe I had it, but maybe Malamar just wasn't the right Pokemon for me to use. I mean, I did use Skill Swap on that Megadium so that way I could give it my Contrary ability, because if it did have Contrary, then it can't go for Curse because, yeah, it would give itself a speed boost, but it would lose attack and defense. Yeah, I know the AI is stupid sometimes, but I don't think it's that stupid. So yeah, I tried my very best to weaken that 7-star Meganium with Malamar, but it just didn't work. Yeah, given the fact that Malamar doesn't have any stats over 100, well, yeah, I knew it wasn't going to work out. As for Skeledirge, well, good thing I chose Flake Coco all the way back at the beginning, so yeah, I changed my Skeledirge ability from Blaze to Unaware. And yeah, from there, that's when I completely dominated that 7-star Meganium. Thanks to Unaware, I didn't have to deal with any of Meganium's stat boosts. Yeah, it did take me quite a few tries to get to that Meganium, or catch that Meganium, but the chances were well worth it. Okay, can I get that hidden item in that dead end before time's up? Okay, looking at this wild Floatzel, maybe not. Okay, hopefully I can run away from this thing. Alright, there we go. Alright, with that, more Brute 222 next time.